down if your man ever cheated on you with your sister. No? I'm the only one with my finger down? Yeah, that's what I thought, because this shit isn't normal. So boom, let me give you the backstory on my perfect relationship. I've been dating Jackson for 2 years. He was my man. I thought he was my forever, my ride or die. Like, I was down bad for this man. But I mean, can you really blame me whenever somebody's texting you every morning saying, good morning, I love you, you're the only girl that I can see myself with? Maybe he thought that because my sister and I share the same DNA, it doesn't count. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Jackson and I met in school. I was a cheerleader. He was on the basketball team. Super cliche, I know. But whatever, things were going so well between us. I was like, let me introduce him to my family. We were having a barbecue for the 4th of July and it was the perfect time. And this is where I introduced him to my older sister, Savannah, who was quite literally the golden child. She could never do anything wrong. Anything that she did it better than me. It was definitely giving Batman and Robin. I was Robin, because she was literally always the fucking star of the show. But there was never any hatred. Like, that was still my best friend. So yeah, they meet, everything is normal. And if I'm being honest, she would hype us up. Like, anytime that she saw us together or I would talk about him, she'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys are so cute together. I love how much he adores you, blah, 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 blah. If I look back at it now, these signs were literally punching me in the fucking face. Because Jackson started acting weird. His text got dry as hell. No more I miss you. No more can't wait to see you. None of that. All of a sudden, he was way too tired to FaceTime with me and hang out, but he would be active on Instagram all night. And the amount of times the excuse, babe, I'm sorry, I can't come over, my mom needs me, was used was absolutely absurd, because his mom did not need him. Apparently my sister did. Now Savannah started being weird too. She stopped inviting me to go places with her. She got weirdly defensive whenever I would mention my own boyfriend. And sometimes I would catch them texting each other. And I'd be like, girl, why are you texting my man? She'd be like, oh, we were just talking about your birthday gift. I know you guys are probably thinking, girl, you're dumb. You're dumb. What do you mean you didn't know that something was going on? I'm sorry, but if my sister and boyfriend are acting weird, I don't think anybody at first would put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, the reason why my sister's acting weird is because she's fucking my boyfriend. No, you're just gonna think that 2 people in your life are going through something. Or maybe that's just me. Anyways, so let's fast forward to the night that I found out about my man and my sister sneaking around behind my back. Of course, Jackson is supposed to come and hang out with me, but then he texts me and he's like, babe, I don't feel good. I think I'm just gonna stay home tonight. And I tried to be extremely understanding. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I love you. Get some rest and feel better. Fast forward 30 minutes later, maybe an hour, not really. Savannah goes, I'm gonna go out for a little bit. I'll be back later. And she didn't invite me to go, which I'm not saying that she had to, but it was weird because we did everything together. So later on that night, I'm on Snapchat, and that's whenever I see Trey, aka Jackson's best friend, posted a video on his story at a party. It was extremely blurry and the camera was all smoky, but I know my man. And I damn well know my sister, who I've been around my whole entire life. I saw them in the back of the video. And my man has his arm around her waist. So I screen recorded that shit so fucking fast. I zoom in to make sure that I was not about to crash out for no reason. So I zoom in and I got the confirmation that a crash out was necessary. So I grabbed my keys. I drove straight to that fucking party, which it was rough not going off on them over text, but I was like, you know what? I want to surprise them. I walk in and I see them sitting on a couch and Savannah is sitting in between his legs while his hands are just on her thighs and they're all laughing and giggling like shit is fucking funny and it's not. I walk up to them. I grab a drink right off the table, threw it in his fucking face and getting it on hers as well. So they both look at me like a deer in the headlights and I'm like, so what's going on, guys? And Jackson was like, oh, like we're just hanging out. And I'm like, oh, so she decided to hang out in the middle of your legs. That's where she decided to hang out? In between your legs? And then my sister starts trying to play the victim. And she's like, you're blowing this out of proportion. This is nothing, blah, blah, blah. So I look at him and I'm like, you can have her. I hope she was worth it. And I look at her and I'm like, you can keep him too. Because the same way that you get them is the same way you're gonna fucking lose them. But I made sure to snap a picture and send it to the family group chat. Snapchat and say, oh my gosh, guys, look, Savannah finally found a boyfriend. Too bad it had to be mine. So after this, my mom is blowing up my fucking phone. And whenever Savannah and I get home, my dad is freaking out. Savannah starts screaming and crying like I was the problem. Like she didn't just go behind my back and screw my man. And Jackson, he tried calling me like 50 times whenever I got home. And I blocked him because fuck no. After this, my parents were pissed off at Savannah. Jackson and Savannah, they ended up dating for 2 months before he cheated on her. And me, obviously, I leveled the fuck up because you can't let something like that happen to you and then decide that you're gonna be depressed and sad for the rest of your life. No. I needed to make sure that that man knew he fucked up. Moral of the story, if your gut is saying that something is off, you should probably trust that shit, even if it's your own sister. Oh, and if your sister and your boyfriend are getting too friendly, start throwing hands. Don't even wait. Literally, start swinging.
Let's have a quick recap. My mother-in-law DNA tested my baby behind my back after I'd said no, I do not want my baby DNA tested. She couldn't do the test with my husband because my husband had also said no to the DNA test, so she DNA tested our baby with her husband. The results came back as a 0 match and honestly nearly ruined my life because my husband for a period of time believed that that baby wasn't his. Enter my partner's dad. He comes to us and tells us that he wants to do a DNA test with his son. Not with the baby, not with my partner and our baby. No, my partner's dad and my partner. I hope that makes sense. So they do a DNA test behind my mother-in-law's back because if they are a match, if they are father and son, they obviously don't want the mum to know that they've done a DNA test. Turns out they're not father and son. 0 match. Absolutely no chance in hell that my partner's dad is really his dad, his biological dad. So the last time I spoke to you, we had just got the results to tell us that my partner and his dad weren't related in any way. Then we decided to confront my mother-in-law. And I am so excited to tell you this story. So my husband and his dad went full-on family intervention style. And lucky little old me got to be there as well. We waited at her house for her to come home from lunch with her sister. Lunch with her sister is her weekly gossip and complaining sessions. My plan was to be chilled, silent even, demure, you know? Just sit back, sip my water and watch the fireworks fly. That did not happen. When she walked through that front door, all smiles and shopping bags, something in me just snapped. I stood up, slammed the DNA results down on her table, slid them towards her in exactly the same fashion she did to me. And then I just watched the realization and the panic wash over her face. All hell broke loose at that point. My husband and his dad started shouting over each other, shouting at her at the same time. It was messy, loud, and so emotional. But whilst this was going on, she did not look at the men once. She stood there staring at me the whole time, and I just smirked right back. Finally, once my husband and his dad had stopped shouting and the silence just engulfed us, she slowly turned to look at her husband. And more coldly than I could probably recite, she said, "It was 30 years ago. What do you want me to do about that now?" And then she just left, just walked out. No apology, no shame, no explanation. The audacity of this woman, she tried to expose me, tried to tear me and my baby away from our family. And then when her own mess crawled out from under the floorboards, it's everybody else's fault. But wait, it gets better. Her husband decided to stay. His exact words were, "She's right. It was over 30 years ago. What am I going to do with that now? I shouldn't have taken the test." And would you believe my partner had pretty much the same response? She's my mum at the end of the day. You only get one mum. We just need to move on. I can't move on. Whilst everybody else is just brushing this scandal under the rug, I'm still standing here being told to smile in the face of the person who tried to sabotage my whole life. A woman who measured the skin tone of my newborn baby whilst hiding a whole secret child of her own this whole time. How can I ever get over that? Now I know what you're thinking. If I choose to stay in this relationship, then I do just need to move on. And I know you're right. You know, as much as I want to, I would never go and track down her ex-lover from 30 years ago. And I would never leave little hints of him everywhere for her to find. And I would never try to convince her that she's going mad. And if I have another son, I would never name him after the biological dad as a constant reminder. Because that would be crazy, right?